Hey everyone, it's Michael here from GoodEreader.com. Are you going to buy the Amazon Kindle Scribe? There's a lot of things going for it that its competition simply can't match. First of all, it's the first Kindle with a 10.2-inch display. The Kindle DX, released almost 10 years plus ago, had a 9.7-inch screen, but this was issued during a time where there was no touchscreen on it, so you had to use it with physical buttons. So since then, Amazon really hasn't released large screen devices, but this will all change with the Kindle Scribe. It's part e-reader and part digital note. What are you going to do with it? Well, for example, you don't even have to do the note-taking functionality if you don't want to. You could read comics very easy because Comixology is really no more, and they've integrated all of the comics into the Amazon ecosystem. So 10.2-inch device to read comics, newspapers, magazines, and everything else, sign me up. What's more is this is the first 10-plus-inch device that actually has 300 ppi. This is like game-changing, remarkable. Onyx books, the Supernote, nobody can match like this level of resolution. So not only will text be razor sharp, but also like any digital content that you read, you're not going to have to pinch and zoom like you would on a Kindle Paperwhite that only has a 6-point-inch screen, or the Kindle Oasis, which only has a 7-inch screen. These extra inches will make a world of difference, even when reading and editing PDF files. Let's look into some of the more compelling value propositions that this brings to the table, and hopefully we can make a decision together on whether it's a miss or whether it's going to be a hit. The Kindle Scribe is going to be having two different styluses that come with it. It's an either or, so you can get the basic model that is just basic stylus, whereas the premium stylus is only a couple dollars more, but it actually has a mappable button on it and also an eraser on the top. So if you're going to be taking notes, go with the premium stylus, because this is going to be better for like writing notes. So one of the things that the Scribe uses is an ENKNOTE 1200 display model. Now, this is sort of, they mentioned this to me in an email, but I have a feeling it might be even running the ENKNOTE 1250 display. And the only difference between 1200 and 1250 is latency of the pen. So quicker pen interactions with the Wacom screen. And it is using a Wacom EMR screen, but we're not sure right now whether it's just compatible with the Kindle pen or whether you could use other Wacom enabled pens with the unit. We'll let you know once we test this out when it gets released sometime in the middle of November. It has 1 gig of RAM, MediaTek 1 gigahertz processor, multiple storage versions, 16, 32, or 64 gigs, USB-C, which will be very nice, and it will also have Bluetooth for being able to buy audiobooks from the Kindle store, but also with the Kindle store, I mean, the world is your oyster with that. So it's going to be retailing for about $340. But what about the note-taking functionality? Because that's really sort of like what you're going to buy this like for. So how good is it for note-taking? Well, I talked to some of the people during the Amazon event where they announced this, and he answered some of my questions. So they said that the Amazon team worked hard in finding the right anti-glare coating on the display and the right kind of tip on the pen to mimic the feeling of writing on paper. We tested hundreds of combinations to find the delicate balance of creating just the right amount of friction on the display for writing while still delivering crisp text for a world-class reading experience. The team designed the pen tip using a hard felt paired with our custom display coating, avoids the slippery feeling produced by styluses and molded plastic tips on glass, so it actually feels like more intuitive to write on this than other glass-based displays. So Amazon stated that you'll be able to write on Kindle books that you purchased from the store, and also EPUB books that are converted to AZW by one of the many Send a Kindle apps. Writing on books is a totally different experience. Rather than writing directly on a book, a little pop-up window appears and takes up 50% of the screen space. These pop-ups are the only way to take books take notes on books. So when you do this, the savable file is viewed in your library, so you'll be able to keep an accurate layout of all the notes that you took in ebooks. So you'll have you go back to your notes at a given time. So there's no keyboard that appears. It's just like to write on books. However, you can write on Word documents. You can work on PDF files, so you could write directly on them. And for their note-taking app, you can freehand draw, do to-do lists and everything like that. There's about 12 templates that are going to be available at launch, and Amazon will probably launch more. Microsoft and Amazon are in a relationship, so you can send Word docs right now just via USB-C to your Kindle, but in the future, Send a Kindle will be integrated into Word as well as Office 365. So it'll be easier to send Word documents to your Kindle once they adapt, that functionality, probably in about 2 or 3 months. So, I think that this is good. One of the things that is going to make this a little bit more interesting is, so Amazon created a new KFX variant called PDF backed fixed layout. So this is going to be a way that books that two things. PDFs are going to look great on this. Page turns are going to be super fast, but I think that the KFX variant, PDF back fixed layout, there's no examples of it, but it likely has to do with interactive fields in PDF files and not native support for replica of PDF files. So let's think that you get PDF documents that you have a doctor's appointment and you have to fill out your name and stuff like that, and there's clickable fields that you could actually draw in. A lot of people do that on their computer where fields are available when you do your taxes, when you have to fill out paperwork and things like that, documents, contracts. A lot of the times they'll send you PDFs with fields, and if you have Adobe Acrobat on your computer, you can just simply name, date of birth, address, social insurance number, and so on. You'll be able to do that on the Scribe too. So Amazon has integrated sort of this new technology that hasn't been available on any other e-reader yet, but it'll first come on the Kindle Scribe. So clickable fields, this is good because it'll support it right out of the box. Of course, you can underline, you can freehand draw in PDF files, you can just do circles and do things like underlines and things like that. So you'll be able to do a lot more with PDF files than you would on books that you purchase from Amazon. No word yet on whether you could edit magazines, newspapers, comics, manga, and stuff like that, because you would think that you could, because if you can draw in Kindle books and manga and newspapers and magazines and comics and things like that, they're not just some weird Amazon format, a different format. They all use the same format: AZW, KFX, KFX3, things like that. So Amazon uses the same format for all of their digital content, but it remains to be seen whether you'll be able to edit those types of things. I have a feeling that you would, because if you can edit a book in one format, you should be able to edit everything else in another, or in the same format. There's a lot of uncertainties when it comes to the Scribe, but they're few and far between. We kind of really know what this device is capable of. For me, I'm going to use it purely for an e-reader, because I like my Kindle because it's nice and portable, but a 10-inch device will fit just as easy in my messenger bag or something when I'm going out for like the day. Battery life will be solid. It'll last weeks, just not days. Like, people are gonna inevitably gonna say like, for 350 to like 400 bucks, depending on the storage, I might as well get an iPad mini or an entry-level iPad. Well, don't forget, iPads only last a couple days if you're using it regularly, whereas the Scribe will last weeks. And you can't discount the e-ink display. E-paper is just easier on the eyes, and you could use this day or night, whereas the Remarkable and things like that doesn't have a light. You need overhead lighting in order to use it. So I think if you're going to choose between a Scribe and a Remarkable, the Scribe is like a no-brainer. For those of you that are invested already into the Kindle ecosystem or the Audible ecosystem, it just makes sense to get this. But the question is, will you buy the Scribe? Drop a comment below. And for GoodEreader.com, my name is Michael, and everybody take care.